This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, Geof Searles, Erik Reed, and Greysin Ishara. We'd also like to give a really big shout out to Ashlee Bradley, who increased her pledge at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast to become our newest executive producer level patron. Thank you so much, Ashlee. We appreciate your continued support. We also want to thank and welcome Paulina Simmons and TJ Max 2 to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you for your generosity and support. We really truly could not do this without you. In this episode, we are talking about Chapter 2 of The Gathering Storm.
Yep, Chapter 2 is The Nature of Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like I'd get some points, a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm not mad at this chapter.
That's a start.
And I'm not mad at Egwene.
Okay.
And I like most of the things that are going on.
Yeah, we got some,
apart from, beatings.
Sure.
Don't like that.
Sure.
Don't love that. And I like the choices Egwene is making.
Okay.
Although, a touch hypocritical.
Sure, yeah.
Incredibly
yeah.
so, actually.
But there's also hope for a meeting number 2 happening. It did kind of seem like she has to do this again.
Well, maybe.
We'll see.
How sporadic and chaotic Elaida is. Like, who knows if she'll remember,
It's like a round 2 of this serving of soup.
Oh, God. Yeah. I was like, poison the soup. Poison the soup.
What's the weave? No weaves, just poison.
Just
regular
poison.
old-fashioned. Yeah.
Regular old-fashioned poison.
Okay.
Because I thought maybe knife to the throat.
Yeah.
But that would have been very messy and really, really bad for Egwene.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because you can't just, hide it.
Okay.
We're not in, Ozark. We can't just, oh no, they're dead. Oh no, what do we do? Just pretend
it's
we
super
didn't
easy,
know
apparently.
what happened. Yeah. No. But anyway, okay, I'm excited to talk about this.
Okay, I like it.
Okay, are you going to start us off with something fun?
Yeah, this is actually kind of a good one because apparently when you have to publish a book, you have to come up with titles for the books.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, so initially we do know that these last 3 books were supposed to be one book. No matter how big it was supposed to be one book, and Robert Jordan had the title he wanted for it, which was A Memory of Light. That was his pick, his choice for the last book, and there was only supposed to be one.
Yes, got it.
Now, obviously, the one more book thing didn't happen, so they had to float some ideas on how they were going to get this title into 3 different books, or what they were going to do, and there were some options for how they were going to do that. So I have some of those options for you today.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited.
Okay, so one thing they were thinking about is titling all the books A Memory of Light and then putting a subtitle.
Okay.
That was one of the options.
Sure.
Now, I have some of those subtitles for you. So for the first book, The Gathering Storm, they were floating Gathering Clouds. However, felt too generic and too basic, and Sanderson has even said...
not exciting even at all.
No, Sanderson's even said he considers The Gathering Storm, what it is, as one of the more bland Wheel of Time series books, book titles, so...
Okay.
And for...
Storm is, more dramatic than
exactly.
just oh no, those clouds are gathering over there.
But in that first
clouds
perspective...
clouds aren't dramatic, although, yeah.
When they heard the clouds, it was whoa, what are those clouds doing?
Those were dramatic clouds.
They were,
right.
They were pretty crazy. Okay, so for Towers of Midnight, the next book, one of the options was Shifting Winds.
Okay.
Again, I think they did a good idea. Go with Towers of Midnight.
Well, I think the Shifting Winds kind of piggybacks on the storm.
Exactly.
And the weather theme.
Very much so.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about this as we get into those books. But for the last one, an option for the subtitle was Tarmangaiden.
That feels spoilery.
Well, I mean... What, you didn't think the last battle was going to happen in the 3rd book, and you're the rest is cleanup.
No, but I mean, that's just a little on the nose.
Sure.
Me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but that's not what happened, so also that.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad for that.
But anyways, they settled on using the title RJ wanted for the final book, A Memory of Light, as the best way to honor Robert Jordan's wishes.
Yeah.
So here we are. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into Chapter 2, The Nature of Pain, and the chapter symbols the Flame of Tarvalin.
Okay.
Now, we're entering in our Egwene perspective, and I was like, ooh, Where are we going to be?
Yeah.
Did we skip over it all?
Yeah, like a post-meeting.
Yeah,
like,
and then it's like when she thinks back.
Like flashbacky.
A little bit. That's what I thought maybe we might do. No.
Yeah.
We are next moment from the last time we saw her in Knife of Dreams. She's literally on her day 9 of her capture.
Yep.
And she's finishing up with another one of her beatings with Silviana, the Mistress of Novices.
Yes, yeah, and since this is the first Egwene perspective for this book...
You tell us what she was doing.
Getting beaten, basically. No, I was going to say there's like a lot of recap on who people are. So like if you forgot, after all these years, Silviana is the Mistress of Novices, and, you know, things are going very mediocre for Egwene in some ways, but better in some ways. So she's getting beaten all the time.
Yeah, but she's taking it like, ooh, every time I go for a beating,
it's
then
like
I'm winning the battle.
It's like however you gotta, you know, frame that in your mind.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I actually like how she took ownership of her situation, and she really is doing a pretty good job of infiltrating the White Tower.
Yeah, we do get a little bit
from
more
the inside.
we for sure get her thoughts in this chapter of where things are headed and how she has to pivot. She has to do a little bit of pivoting on the plan.
Yeah, but not like really.
I mean, not really. It's just like mentality almost.
Yes. Yeah.
But, I mean, that's important pivoting sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think that her mentality this entire time has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, pretty spot on. She hasn't been like, oh my god, how do I escape? How do I escape? How do I escape? She's like using her new situation to her own benefit.
Right.
Now, this time she's being beaten. She only has a single tear in each eye, and then she smiles to herself immediately after. Yeah. And this is her entire theory about embracing the pain like an Aiel would.
Exactly.
For their punishments.
Yeah.
And how they can even laugh through being beaten and stuff like that. So she's really trying to harness and use some of her Wise One teachings.
Yeah, trying to visualize that like mentality.
She's trying to get it.
Yeah.
She's trying to understand it. And by the end, spoiler alert, she kind of gets it.
She kind of gets it. All right.
Now, it's not that the beatings don't hurt, because, like, obviously they do,
yes.
to the point where she needs to be healed in between beatings because...
Yeah, they've picked up. It's not like she is able to not be injured at all within these beatings. Mm-mm. It's just like the mindset of not being broken after taking all these punishments.
Yeah, but her resolve to make it through has also grown in her time in the tower.
Right, over these 9 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, real fast learning lessons here.
Yeah. Now... At this point, she watches as Silviana is, like, looking at the strap in her own hand, a little bit confused, because Egwene is now smiling after getting strapped.
Yeah, and she does the whole, like, checks herself out in the mirror thing, where that mirror has been a representation of, like, novices and accepted who have to...
watch themselves be given punishment.
And then, like, reflect on yourself after taking the punishment, being like, ooh, I need to stop, I don't know, misbehaving. Whatever I did to deserve this.
I better bow to Aes Sedai.
Exactly. And now she's looking at herself like, you're doing a good job. So, I mean, it makes sense for Silviana's confusion, I guess.
Yeah, and then this is the point that we get a recap on who Silviana is, and Egwene considers her a really good Mistress of Novices. Yeah. Because even though there's been a ridiculous number of punishments for Egwene, Silviana has kept on doing her duty.
Yeah, which I'm like a hard maybe on this.
Okay, yeah.
Hard maybe on that mentality, because, like, she's supposed to be the one who, like, takes care of the novices, and how much should you beat a novice before you're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't just keep beating them.
Endlessly beating.
Yeah. Like, at what point are you supposed to be taking care of these novices?
And even later, we'll probably talk about it, but she gets to a point where she's like, you know, I can't stop beating you. And Egwene's like, I wouldn't expect you to. And I'm like, what?
It's like, maybe she should use her judgment and then stop them. Yeah. Like, be like, nope, this is going too far.
And
we need to
And
reevaluate.
if we really do want to elicit some sort of realistic punishment, to really try to get Egwene bending to their will, this isn't the way to do it. Maybe we need to reevaluate our own ways of doing things.
Maybe we should beat her more and harder.
Right.
Or that. Have we even tried that yet?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
No, but like more than that.
Oh.
Even more.
You know what? I don't think they've tried that yet.
They should try that first before they do anything else.
That's coming, though.
We've always figured it out, guys.
I know. Be a little more resourceful here, Aes Sedai. How about that? All right. And then this is when Silviana asks Egwene, when are you going to give up?
Yeah.
You've proven your point, but this is going to continue until you submit. because there has to be proper order in the tower.
Yeah, Egwene's a little sassy
like,
here.
Oh, yeah? Proper order? Where? Show me in the tower right now. Where is there proper order?
Is the proper order in the room with us right now? Do you see it?
And then that, of course, earns Egwene another visit in the morning.
Right.
And
That's
then we
the
get
more
sort
punishment.
of an idea of where we are in time currently.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we're right before dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And Egwene has to go serve Elaida at dinner time.
Yeah.
So now she's missed out on having her own dinner.
Exactly.
Because of the beating.
But Sylviana does make the note here, like, hey, you're going to have to eat because you physically won't be able to keep up with the healings.
Yes.
Because we know the old way to heal with Aes Sedai, you get really hungry.
So hungry.
New fancy way, not so much.
Not so hungry.
Old way, definitely need food.
Yeah.
So the last note is like, hey, also, I'm just going to pencil you in anyways to see it tonight after
dinner.
Because you're going to do something.
Yeah, you're going to Elaida and there's
it's like,
no
for
way.
Sure. Yeah. It's like, I'm just going to put you in the calendar because like I know it's going to happen and you're not there yet, but it's like, we might as well make sure you're in there.
Yes. Okay. So now Egwene leaves and there are the two Reds who are outside the door who are sent to escort Egwene around the castle.
Yeah, quick
tower,
recap. We got Katarina.
Yep.
Remember her? She's the Red/Black Aja.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important in this conversation.
Yeah, she was at Dumais Wells, right?
Yeah, and then she was like taken captive. Then she's the one who escaped.
Oh, yeah.
Got freed or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
And then we've got Barrisine, who's also a Red, and she's one of the Reds who Logain had incriminated in the whole Logain setup thing. That was Elaida, Javindra, and Barrisine. Those are three specific names.
Okay.
So she is one of them.
All right. And now they have more fork root for Egwene because Elaida does not want Egwene to be able to channel even a trickle.
And like probably they also don't because that's just more to
more to
does
deal
anyone
with.
want to deal with Elaida even?
Yeah. No, nobody does.
Yeah.
That's the problem here.
Yeah.
So now Egwene is going to linger for a minute, wondering if she's going to run into Alviarin again on her way to Sylviana, but she's not showing up. So she's like, what the heck is happening there?
Yeah. And we actually see her a little bit later.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure out timeline-wise because Egwene thinks, what kept her? But we don't really have
we don't really know. So a recap on Alviarin's situation is she was Elaida's keeper.
Right.
Then she went off doing a bunch of bidding for Masana.
Right.
Because she's like the head of the Black Aja or something like that.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit of her own stuff.
Right. Okay, so she was out doing stuff.
Yeah.
Gone too long.
Yep.
Gets pulled down as keeper.
Yes, because that's right when Egwene...
Because she was blackmailing Elaida, and Elaida's like, everyone already knows the things that you're blackmailing me about, and...
Yeah, but that's also when Egwene and the rebels showed up.
Yeah.
And then Alviarin was nowhere around when the rebels showed up.
And Elaida's like, I need a keeper. Which actually, yes.
She does. Yeah. Like, of all the points Elaida is right about, that is... your second in command should probably be there.
Yeah. And then, because of all of her bad behavior, now she has beatings all the time.
Well, yeah, and also with the Alviarin thing, she, paged Masana, and then Masana showed up and was like, no, I'm not going to dispose of Elaida, and then Shida Haran popped in and, did the thing with Masana.
And Alviarin was like worried there was Black Aja hunters, and turns out she's right.
She's right, but, she's not, like, caught or anything like that, so.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. That's my prediction.
Okay.
She is going to get caught.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now at this point, does it even matter? Like, she's...
Yeah. Does it matter? Like,
Not really.
Hypothetically,
all that would do really is let Elaida off the hook. Because they're all currently thinking that Elaida must be Black Aja because she knew all of the plans.
It would let her off the hook for the Elaida business.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just thinking Alviarin would still be a great capture for the Black Aja hunters because she's like the head of everything. So we should still go after her.
We should still do it, for sure.
Yeah.
She's just not really in power so much.
Right, not the same kind of... Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, back to Egwene in the hallway here, though. So she sees some terrified-looking Aes Sedai moving in little packs.
Yeah, as is tradition, with their shawls and holding the power in the tower and shocking.
My gosh. And then she asks these two Red Aja, are you happy with all of this? And then points out that it's been centuries since the Reds have had an Amerlin seat, and now Elaida has done all of this, making it pretty much terrible for the Reds.
Yeah, and it's like, this is going to reflect on your entire Aja. Like, that's your legacy, basically, is Elaida.
Is that really what you want here?
Right, and she has a very good point.
Yep. And then Katarina's like, this isn't all Elaida's fault. It's you and your foolish rebels.
Right.
And Egwene takes note. My foolish rebels?
Gotcha.
You're right. They are my rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Egwene points out all the terrible things that Elaida has caused, like the whole swan being deposed and warders killing warders, and how she didn't do anything with the Dragon Reborn, and now she's building her own freaking palace.
It's still happening.
Because she's like a freaking tyrant.
Right.
And then Egwene is like, this will be the Red's legacy.
And it is kind of like a funny thing because she asked this to a Red and then a Black-eyed sister also. So when she's like, hey, are you happy with this? I gotta say, Katarina, who is the one who's like arguing with her and then cuts herself off.
Yeah.
Because like maybe you shouldn't argue with a novice if she's a novice.
Yeah.
But maybe she is happy. Maybe this is exactly what she wants.
Is like, oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Good points. Yeah.
Well, and that also is a big point to what happens next, because this earns her, of course, another punishment.
Another trip to Sylviana later.
Everything. It's like,
does.
yeah,
yep.
I'm going to keep going. Every free moment, I'm going to go back.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sylviana's door closes, and she's like, whoa, I thought I closed that.
Uh-huh.
So was Sylviana listening to this point being made?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Yep.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Sylviana's perspective?
You want to tell me your door's ajar,
yeah,
and there's a conversation going in the hallway, and you're not stopping to listen?
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
In literally any scenario in your entire life?
It's so boring that I'm going to...
Except, chances are, I'm not going to make it known that I was listening.
Right, I'm going to turn the handle and close the door softly.
Or I'm just leaving it, you know? I'm just not touching it till they leave.
Yeah.
But Sylviana listening and wanted Egwene to know that she heard.
Ooh.
You know?
Let's talk about Sylviana after, because we're going to make our way back here.
Okay.
So I want to talk about your thoughts on her perspective later.
Okay. Now, we are going to get some of Egwene's inner thoughts on how she believes she's winning her war against Elaida, because the novices have all been gossiping about Elaida's failures, like dealing with Rand and the Black Tower and all of that.
Yes, yeah.
And she's also torn because she doesn't like that Tarvalin is a stinky dumpster garbage pile right now. Because
so many
that
references.
reflects poorly on Aes Sedai.
It does.
And Egwene, for whatever reason, at this point, is so wholeheartedly an Aes Sedai through and through.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I would question how much really does she know about being a true Aes Sedai.
Sure.
After have been, she was in the tower for 3 months or something,
not a heck of a
total,
long enough to be a
yeah.
It's like
she really is confident in really what an Aes Sedai is.
Yes, like the core values.
She certainly thinks
she did have Swan teach her. We have some of that rubbing off too. She does
have that, and from the very beginning, the very first book, she was a questioner. She was asking Moiraine 1,000 questions.
Right.
And she was really, really involved in getting all the knowledge she could hold.
Yeah, and also the mentality of what does it mean to be Aes Sedai? We have been over that a lot, so I do kind of understand that. But that is Egwene's character, where she's she wants to be the perfect image of whatever she's doing.
Yeah, even later when she's serving, she's like, I'm so good at serving because I was an innkeeper's daughter.
Yeah.
I'm so good at spreading this butter.
I don't know, Egwene, you dumped a whole pot of soup.
On purpose, Brett.
Oh, shoot.
On purpose.
Well, a good server would never spill soup on purpose.
Oh, Elaida made me do that.
Right. Okay. Anyways, back to this whole Tarvalin as a stinky garbage pile. We really focus in on that, but also there's thieves and thugs wandering the streets.
We talked about that last time too.
I know, but it's getting worse.
All right. So during this meeting with Elaida, if Egwene steps wrong, she might see herself executed.
Yeah.
But she also thinks, I'm not going to bow to her. I don't care.
She does think that. Yeah. So she has some...
that she really does have a change of heart.
She does.
Yeah.
Almost a in the moment.
I know, and I can't believe she hadn't been thinking about that this whole time.
She's been busy.
Yeah.
With other things.
Being beaten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could think about things while you're being beaten, right?
Not really, no. She's kind of got her head full.
Right. But I'm glad that she does come to that perspective of, yes, worst case scenario, obviously execution. But then later on, she's like, oh, I also might just get locked in a cell later on, which would also be bad because then you can't do anything you're trying to do. So it's you have to kind of play the part to this one person.
Yep.
So I'm glad.
Well, and that's what I said from the beginning, from that attending Elaida chapter.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I hope that she recognizes exactly what she's planned here.
Yeah.
And how she continues what she's playing.
Right.
You know?
I don't want to put words in your mouth too, but at the beginning of this episode, you were like, I hope she stabs her in the neck.
No, I said that, yeah.
Yeah, so like,
I was
ooh,
like, either plays it super cool
or next stab.
or steak knives her.
Those are the two options.
Those
There's
are the
no
only
in
ones.
between.
Except they're eating soup and there's only butter knives.
Oh, what? Like spoons. Ah, caught me. You know what? Maybe that was a strategy by Elaida. How much credit are we giving Elaida
Not
in
enough,
this meeting?
Turns out, not enough credit.
Yeah.
Because she's terrible.
That's why when I have meetings with my enemies, I always serve soup.
Soup only.
Right.
Yeah. No steak.
No, no steak.
No steak.
And if it's pre-cut, I cut it for you ahead of time.
Oh, yes. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
People love that when they get their steaks pre-cut into cubes on their plate.
Yeah, you know,
at your
manageable
dinner party.
bite sizes.
People will love that. Yeah, it's great.
No shish kebabs because the skewer.
Oh, skewer. Yeah, no shish kebabs.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to what's going on here.
Right. Okay.
Egwene and the Reds are going to head through the halls because we're going to Elaida's
right now.
study right now.
Yeah.
And
but whoa,
spooky things are happening.
Yep.
So spooky. Not only are the halls sort of changing, but a mural that used to be in the library has showed up here in the middle of this hallway.
And the
depictions of the mural have changed.
Yes. To like a bloodied face Amerlin.
Yeah.
And then dead bodies.
Hanging. From like the tower or something
Whoa.
like that.
And I'm assuming it's not just been like tagged like really badly. I just imagine the Mr. Bean version of the painting over.
Oh, it's like literally like some spray paint. Or
exactly. Yeah.
No,
not that. It's
not that. Even spookier.
Okay, very spooky.
Even spookier.
You know, ghosts are one thing, but ghost paintings.
Yeah.
Are the ghosts doing the?
No, the ghosts aren't doing.
It's not clear. I don't want to.
No.
Okay. I don't want to ruin anything, but.
No spoilers.
Right.
No, this is just pure Dark One.
Okay,
messing
evil.
With stuff.
Yeah, he's like, you know what really spooked him?
That is kind of spooky, though.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think it's spooky.
Yeah, I can think of spookier things.
I can't.
Put an image of yourself in the picture, like put Egwene in the picture.
Oh,
that'd be spooky.
That's pretty spooky.
Her as one of the dead bodies or something.
Oh, yeah,
right?
That would be really spooky.
That's at least a little bit spookier.
Very much.
Okay.
I wouldn't like any of this.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. So because of this weird thing that happened here, we have to go on a big detour.
Right. Yes.
To get to Elaida's study.
Yeah. And now the lingering has caused her to be a little slower, and now she has to go a little bit faster.
Okay.
But being faster means it looks like she's rushing. So.
And she's not.
She doesn't want to be rushing.
No.
So.
Lots of that thought.
Right.
All right. Now, she starts thinking about how she should handle this meeting, and she starts out by thinking that Elaida needs to know her anger, and she needs to be humiliated and shamed. But then she quickly changes her mind because, what, should she be humiliated and shamed at this dinner?
Right. And by Egwene?
And
like,
by
are you going to yell at her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's just going to get herself in more trouble.
Yeah, like, and also with Elaida, she doesn't have the humility. I don't know. Is it a bone in your body that gives you the humility? Maybe. Who's to say? I don't know. It could be that. She doesn't have that in her body.
Okay.
Or the shame bone.
No.
Like none of that.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that.
She doesn't have them. So, like, you can't shame Elaida. You can't humiliate her. She wouldn't. It's not a thing.
Not
can't do it.
By Egwene in this moment particularly. You know?
I'm trying to think of anybody who could possibly shame Elaida into viewing her actions as bad. As, like, you're a bad Amerlin seed.
Be ashamed and embarrassed if she's like stripped of her stole, like in front of
and
people,
then a lady with a bell walks behind her, ding donging it.
Yes, shame.
Right.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Maybe that.
Yeah. Except that only made Cersei more pissed off.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah. And that didn't work that well. It turns out.
It's either the it's the tomatoes being thrown or the guy waggling his penis at her.
That wasn't
in the crowd.
good either. Yeah. Okay. Enough of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
We have actually things to talk about this chapter.
Right. Spoilers for Game of Thrones. That happens.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Whatever. Okay. Now, she's still thinking about how to deal with this situation, and she's like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Elaida think she's winning the battle. No, I'm going to make Elaida think there is no battle.
Right.
And the best way to do that is be silent and not say anything. And I was like, yes, let's hope that Egwene can do that.
Stick to it.
Can stick to it. Because all of this is pretty much for naught.
Yeah.
If she can't.
It's like one of those, just don't bite on anything she's saying.
Yes.
Keep her cool.
Just don't do it. Just relax.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Yeah.
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 Pretend that you're like literally being beaten, but
water off a duck's back, right?
Yeah,
as they say.
They do say that, but the issue is Elaida is so infuriating as a person, that Egwene almost can't even handle it.
Can't help it, just like can't.
Okay, so she knocks on the door, and it's answered by a Grey sister who Egwene doesn't even recognize.
Right,
but then we find out right away that it's Maidani.
Yeah,
and Egwene's like, "Oh my gosh."
It's Maidani.
That makes me stressed out.
I know she knows the name. She doesn't know her by sight, but she knows the name and all that.
Yeah.
But before she learns about who Maidani is, she has to get in the room.
Yeah. So Elaida's inside. There's a table set for the two of them, and Egwene is serving both of them tonight. And then we get a whole description of the room and all of that. It's a whole thing. And then Egwene sees the Amyrlin stole that only has 6 ajas, and oh man, that pisses her
Furious.
That
How
is the
dare
first
you?
thing. That's the first thing that really grinds her gears.
Yeah, seriously.
There's a lot of things that grinds her gears tonight.
But here's the thing: I feel like she already knew that was a thing that had happened.
Seeing it though,
I know, but like you should mentally prepare yourself.
Nah,
that wasn't just.
She wasn't ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't help it. So that's strike 1.
Now, just as we thought, Egwene is immediately issued a trip to Silviana because she doesn't curtsy.
Right.
But she does manage to hold her tongue, even though Elaida tries to bait her a few times.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of...
And eventually, Egwene does bow her head, and Elaida's like, hee. Oh, and they said you weren't broken. This is so great.
Well, and she's like, oh, Silviana did do a good job with you, because apparently that's kind of been in question. Now, we actually haven't really done a recap on who Maidani is, and it might have been a minute since some people have heard of her. Okay,
tell us.
So she was, and this is all stuff we know, so we knew she's one of the ferrets who was getting blackmailed, basically by all sides, because Baonin came in and betrayed her, and then Elaida found out about her, and the Black Aja Hunters also have her as like under the oath thing that's going on with her to like help out with all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So we also know Elaida knows that she's a spy from the rebel camp. We know there's the sexual relationship that's kind of being rekindled here, not because Maidani wants to, but because she's being blackmailed by everybody to do it multiple times. And we know they were pillow friends as novices. So Maidani's in like a terrible situation right now.
Well, now the last time we actually heard from it was they're rekindling their friendship, and they used to be pillow friends, and we don't know if they've picked that back up.
Right.
Because Elaida just alluded to, maybe I will sleep with her again.
Yeah.
Because she might spill more information in bed.
Yes.
But we haven't heard that that's actually gone forward yet.
No, but again, like this is clearly like a... I don't know, like I wouldn't say this is a real date, but this is like a fake date that Elaida is putting on as heirs because she's just the worst person ever.
Well, I think that Elaida's also trying to figure out whether or not Maidani knows that Elaida knows.
Right, or she's just playing with her at this point, like who knows. But we know that Elaida knows that Maidani is a spy.
Yes. But Elaida doesn't necessarily know that Maidani knows that she knows.
She doesn't know that they know that she knows they know. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So it's one of those situations again.
Yeah, it is.
Anyways, Maidani is in it deep, and it's terrible. And that's why when Egwene opens the door, she's like, whoa, she's stressed out. This is bad.
Yeah, that's true too. Okay, well, why don't we take a really quick break and come on back for this lovely dinner party.
The convo. I love it.
Okay, so we're back, and we are going to get into this dinner conversation. Now, apparently, Maidani has been tasked with researching a bunch of historical records about how traitors have been treated in the past.
Yeah, okay.
So, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Just a nice little underlying of torture there.
Well, yeah, because she's like, oh, beheading is too easy and too simple, so I need to come up with something more creative than just beheading the traitors. So is this more bait for Egwene, or is this like her baiting Maidani?
Both.
I
think it hits on both for Elaida there.
My whole question is like, how much credit are we giving to Elaida in her like conversational maneuvering of what's happening?
No, I think that this is Elaida, probably on purpose, sending Maidani to go do this research this afternoon.
Yeah, and like she's a spy, so obviously that's funny. Like, ooh, how do I treat traitors?
Right, because she knew that Egwene was coming to attend them for dinner.
Okay.
So I think that it was a setup because it was like earlier this day that she had said, oh, tell Egwene to come attend me and Maidani for dinner.
Okay, yeah, so kind of
I
two
think
birds.
It was a setup.
Yeah. Okay, I like it.
Now, Egwene realizes that Elaida must know that Maidani's a spy, and that means she's just toying with her at this point, and Egwene hates that so much.
Right.
Because if Egwene didn't already know how terrible a person Elaida is, like, yeah, they're on two sides of things, and she knows that Elaida has done some terrible things, like deposing Swan, and really is not a good leader and not a good Amyrlin.
Yeah.
Like, those are the things that Egwene isn't liking Elaida for right now.
Yeah.
But there's also this new level.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a comparison because Egwene is really annoyed or angry at Elaida for kind of like using Maidani because she knows she's a spy. But I mean, also in the same breath, Elaine does the exact same thing where it's like, if you know who the spy is, use the spy to feed misinformation or like keep them in that position. Don't reveal them as a spy because you know they're a spy.
Well, no, I think that Egwene is mostly pissed off that she's toying with her.
Right, okay.
Because that's the piece that's really annoying.
It's a little bit, it's a little bit different, but
and
okay.
Also, in the same breath, Egwene is using Maidani and Beonin and Lyanna, like everybody that she can.
Yeah, everybody.
To help her cause.
See, but her cause is the best cause.
Well, okay, and Maidani and Beonin and Lyanna are at least on her side.
No, Beonin's not.
Oh,
Beonin's the traitor.
That's right.
The rebel traitor who was always on Elaida's side.
She thought she was on her side.
She thought Beonin was on her side, and then that was the...
convinced her in her head that Egwene is the Amyrlin.
Yeah.
And so...
I'm still Amyrlin, so you still have to listen to me.
So she sort of got her on her side.
I mean, a little bit. Yeah, okay.
I'm just trying to really defend Egwene here.
I know.
But she really is doing not much different.
Yeah. It gets not much differenter a little bit later, too.
Yeah. Except that just on a baseline level of, like, good person versus shitty person.
Yeah.
Egwene, like, wins.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Person overall at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, give Egwene 100 years.
Sure.
In
maybe.
Power.
Who knows?
You know what I mean? If she's going to be, like, the longest running Amyrlin ever, because she's, like...
Yeah.
Maybe she also turns out to be a tyrant in 100 years from now.
Maybe. Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But in this moment, Egwene is winning the better person award.
Right.
Than Elaida.
Okay.
Now it's time for Egwene to serve dinner. And she does.
Yeah, so good.
So good. Does such a good job. Such a great job of serving dinner. And this is her game plan to survive tonight by just doing her tasks and then getting out of here. And at this point, Elaida asks Maidani if she's heard about the rebels. And Maidani gives kind of a non-answer, and Elaida makes a joke about how maybe Maidani's too stupid to even deserve the shawl, and maybe she shouldn't be Aes Sedai anymore.
Yeah.
And she's basically toying with her, like, oh, maybe I'll take your shawl away, maybe I won't.
Like she did the other one.
This makes Egwene's blood just boil.
Strike two.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
and I gotta say, it's a bold strategy coming from Elaida to insult the person you're kind of sort of trying to maybe court.
Well,
like, I don't know how real that is.
Probably Elaida is being a lot more bold and a lot more brazen because she wants Egwene to hear this.
Yeah, I know.
I think when it's just the two of them, it's probably less on the nose. Like, it's less dramatic and specific. But I think that when there's an audience, that's when Elaida's really amping it up.
She's looking for the laugh.
No, she's looking for the reaction.
Yes, exactly.
She's looking for any excuse for either of them to slip up.
Right.
Now, Maidani brings up what she has heard the sisters talking about in the tower.
Yeah, this is good.
And that's a lot of concern over the Seanchan. And of course, Elaida's like, bah, they're too far away to be a danger. And they're probably secretly working for the Dragon Reborn. And it doesn't matter because it's all rumors and exaggerations.
Yeah.
And who cares? And maybe the women who get captured by them are even too weak. Like, it doesn't even matter. And then this is a point that I go, oh shit, because Egwene has been collared and captured.
Yeah, so she knows.
She knows. And we get a little bit of an insight about what it feels like to have been a Damani.
Yeah.
And then to be freed.
Okay.
And so Egwene thinks to herself that sometimes she even thinks about being sick. Like, she physically feels sick. And that it would just be easier to be collared to a wall.
Right.
Or something like that in her head. And then thinks, no. And, like, brushes it off. And Egwene was a Damani for, like, I don't even know, a month. Like,
yeah,
we're not even really
months,
sure
maybe.
exactly
Yeah, it's hard to tell
how long
exactly.
it was, but it was definitely less than 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
And for some of these Damani who have been captured for years and years and years.
Or like Olivia, like 400 years or whatever.
Yeah. So it makes sense as to why some of them really hate the feeling of not being colored.
For sure.
Because to try to move around, it makes them physically sick. Yeah,
I mean, that's like your body's reaction, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty hard. Now, we do have a quick reminder here that I have to give you, that we do know, part of Egwene's frustration is just like, oh, I can't believe that Elaida isn't taking this serious. Like, I'm totally serious about the dreams that I had.
Yeah.
And when she got captured, she had a conversation. So Egwene had a conversation with Sylviana at the beginning of Knife of Dreams, and Sylviana said, hey, I'll pass along the message about the dreams and the Shanshan to Elaida, but I'm also going to question Lyanna about it. But we don't actually know how that passing of information went between Sylviana and Elaida.
Yeah, true.
So, but anyways, even if it did happen, Elaida's like, not happening.
But now Elaida is like, you know what's not a problem? The Shanshan. But what is a problem is the lack of obedience the Aes Sedai seem to have right now.
Yeah, I've always said that. That's been my number one thing.
Yeah.
Lack of obedience.
And if they just did what they were told, then the tower wouldn't be divided.
Not only that.
This is all everyone else's problem and not my fault at all.
We would have so many more things in our hands. So we'd have the Dragon Reborn. Yeah, Black Tower would have been dealt with easily. No problem.
No problem it would have been.
People didn't listen to the directions.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then Elaida throws out a crazy idea that we've never heard of before.
Oh my goodness.
That just floors Egwene for some reason.
Right.
Isn't it odd that the three oaths don't contain any mention of obedience to the White Tower?
Yeah.
Or to the Amyrlin seat?
Yeah, why aren't we doing that?
Shouldn't we just be swearing to obey the Amyrlin?
Right.
Huh, where have I heard that before?
I don't know, I can't remember. I don't think it's happened yet.
Is it that Egwene did that?
Oh yeah, so Egwene was like, what about this?
Yeah.
And then you were like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like it.
And I was like, it's not a good idea. Here's why it's not a good idea. And then Egwene obviously doesn't have an oath rod, but she did make people who have sworn the oaths swear to obey her.
Yeah, same thing.
So it's like, it's basically the same thing.
Uh-huh.
It's the same
It's
thing.
literally exactly
It's not exactly the same, but it's like the same thing.
I think it's different because Elaida sucks.
Yeah.
And we don't want every single Aes Sedai.
Right, just the ones
obeying one person.
Just the ones that Egwene needs to use and those who might betray her.
Right.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm curious about other people's take on this one.
Okay.
How do we
feel about it?
How do we feel about this? How do we defend Egwene in this moment?
Yeah.
How is what she did different than what Elaida is suggesting right now?
You might regret asking.
No, I'm legitimately, I'm wondering, because I'm having trouble separating the two, but if there's something I'm missing...
Yeah.
I'd like to maybe know.
Maybe I'll throw a couple more points out before. Okay, so also we did have Egwene float that idea by, and she had a bit of a, I don't know if I'd want to call it a lecture, but Swan basically convinced her, no, the oaths are the oaths for a reason.
Yeah.
We're the Aes Sedai, we do the oaths. So Egwene did a 180 on her whole abolish the oaths. She switched it up right back to we're never abolishing the oaths for Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
We might have different factions outside that are connected.
What if this is some sneaky way? Maybe Elaida somehow found out that some Aes Sedai have sworn to Egwene.
Okay,
and
go with it.
This actually isn't Elaida's idea. She doesn't want this to happen, but she's just trying to goad Egwene.
That is Moraine or Cadsuane level of manipulation.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not Elaida.
I'm trying to see any angle of this.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah. It's the same. But anyways, I'll add a little bit more icing.
Okay.
So Egwene also has a thought in this chapter that she's a novice, or she didn't really have the understanding of why things are the way they are until she got the lecture. And now she's learned. But Elaida should already know better. She should know better than to think about toying or playing or changing the oaths.
Well, yeah, but Egwene is still doing it.
Yeah, but that's different because it's Egwene.
Okay.
Anyways, that's what I got here. Yeah.
I think that's where I'm okay, somebody tell me how it's different because it's Egwene.
Uh-huh.
Or is it just different because it's Egwene?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think I liked it at the beginning when it was Theodrin and Pheolane, right? That's
yeah,
what
like
it was.
the blackmailers become the blackmailees almost.
And it was almost like the first people to swear to Egwene, it was their choice to do that
and those
to
people,
show their allegiance.
Yeah.
And they also hadn't sworn on any oath rod.
So it wasn't like binding.
It wasn't binding.
Right.
It was just sort of like an oath that like, oh, morally they should keep, but they're not magically required to.
Right.
And so I was like, ooh, this is good.
Yeah.
But then when Egwene started demanding it of sisters,
yeah,
it's different. It's
well,
not
even
as
with
good.
the whole Baonin thing, it's like, no, I'm still Amerlin, so if you recognize me as Amerlin, that oath still holds. Like, it is a little bit convoluted. It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
And I don't really have, like, a firm answer because I think it's morally ambiguous. Like, that's the issue.
The thing is, Egwene really has zero insight into how this might be any different from what she did, or how it might be exactly the same as what she did. She doesn't even think about how she had people swear to her. She's just like, oh my god, how could Elaida ever think this? How could she know that this is not right? Blah, blah. Like, she's so angry.
Right. That's like a strike. Is this a strike 3? I think this is the strike 3.
This was the strike 3 where she was like, spill the soup on the floor or murder Elaida. Those are my choices.
Right.
Actually, no, she doesn't say murder her. She actually said slap her.
Yeah.
That's what she wants. She wants to slap her across the face, and so instead she spills the soup.
Right. Not even on Elaida. She just spills it on the expensive rug. It's like, come on, if you're going to spill the soup.
Which gives her a chance to talk to
It does,
It's a whole thing. But, yeah.
Okay.
Hypocritical?
I don't know. That's a tricky one.
Seems hypocritical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But after Egwene knocks the soup on the floor, Elaida starts shouting at her and at Maidani to help clean it up, and then she goes off to call the servants. And now while Egwene and Maidani are cleaning on the floor together, Egwene is whispering to her.
Yeah.
And I just felt like this back and forth conversation went on for longer than it would take for Elaida
to go out and come back.
And not notice that they're reverently like whispering to each other.
Yeah, I just imagine Elaida like ranting and raving all the way out, and you can kind of still hear her all the way out and then all the way back in, like
okay, sure, yeah.
So just like going off for like way too long because it's Elaida and she's dramatic.
So Egwene whispers, "Send for me," because she needs to find out why Maidani never fled the tower.
Yeah, and
what the spies are planning and everything. And Maidani's like, "You can't order me around," and Egwene is like, "Oh yeah, I'm the Amerlin,
bitch." You gotta say it. She says it in the book.
She does not say that. And then she's like, well, also, how do you feel about serving Elaida for your whole life? Because you're about to have to swear to her.
Yeah, and she's
do you
like,
love that? And then she's like,
okay.
Fine. And then they have a brief conversation about how badass Egwene is for taking all the beatings. And Maidani's like, how do you even do it?
And she's like,
and Egwene's like, because I have to.
Right.
And then Maidani agrees to send for Egwene for a meeting.
Yeah. And Egwene does like pay her a little compliment. She's like, hey, you're doing a super job.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah.
This is what a good leader does.
Right.
Yes.
Give the compliments sometimes.
Give them. Yes.
Yeah,
and recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too much, because you don't want her thinking like too highly of herself.
No, but she's like, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it is valued.
Right.
You are a valued member of this team, right. Maidani. And Maidani's like, thank you. Yes, I am. Good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Everyone can take some lessons there. So.
Yeah, well, and Egwene even thinks to herself, I don't actually know if what she's doing is any good or not, but people like to be thanked.
Generally, it's not, but, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But now Elaida finally gets back, and she's like, Egwene, get out of here and tell Sylviana to strap you harder than she ever has before because you suck at serving soup.
And then heal you immediately and then beat you again. So that's what I was talking about. It's like, not just got to do more and worse, like more than what you've been doing as more.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, don't think you can get out of your job.
You definitely have to come back and serve me again.
Exactly. And no more soup spills.
If you spill, you're going to go to the dungeons.
Straight to the dungeons. Yeah. Yep. Spill the soup.
Yeah.
Straight to jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Egwene leaves and goes down to the kitchens to eat before going back. And that's like a really big, long scene.
Yeah.
She's like contemplating over the meeting and we get to learn about what she's eating. And
she's like, that went bad or maybe good.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
Well, she has some funny lines because she thinks you don't get mad at the weasel who's eating your hens. You lay a trap and kill the weasel.
Yeah.
And I guess Elaida's the weasel here.
Yeah.
And then she's also like, hey, Elaida is going to be able to pull herself down, like, without my help.
Right.
She's already driving everyone apart. She's already terrible. I don't need to, like, undercut her. She's doing just fine by herself.
Yeah, she's doing it all on her own, and I just have to
I got to pivot
Yeah.
into what my mentality
because eventually
is.
Elaida will be pulled down. She's a horrible Amyrlin,
Yeah.
and everyone will see that.
Exactly.
At this point.
Everyone already hates her.
Yeah, Egwene is just going to guide it along. But I wanted to also say that Elaida is the Duke of Weaseltown.
It's Wesselton.
Yeah.
We have watched too much Frozen.
Oh my god, way too much Frozen.
On repeat over the holidays. Okay.
Because you like she's a weasel.
That's good.
The Duke of Wesselton. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Okay, anyways. Especially if Elaida is like, hey, I want to change the 3 oaths.
Oh, yes.
But I mean, the White Tower has waited so long already with Elaida.
Okay,
Like, what else has to happen?
Egwene is pivoting, and her new job and her new focus is holding the tower together and avoiding it fracturing any further.
Right.
Because they don't really have a lot of time left. So I'm wondering what her plan is. Like, is she going to start sort of concocting these ideas and plans
Sure.
where Ajas have to work together?
Ooh,
effectively, like a team building exercise?
Right. It's a lock-in at the rec center.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, it does feel like that.
Okay.
So it's like, because that's really what's fractured right now is no Aja trusts another Aja.
Yeah.
And so that's where we need to be kind of trusting again.
I mean, and we have some groundwork because the Black Aja hunters are literally like the top heads of the Ajas.
Yeah.
So like
Egwene
we
needs
have
to learn about them.
Get
Involved there because Egwene and
she was
Nynaeve,
the original Black Aja
that's
hunter.
what I was gonna say.
Oh.
The OG.
Yeah.
She
okay.
certainly was.
Okay. You know, there's also some other thoughts we got to talk about.
No, Swan and Moraine
were
the original
whatever.
Black Aja hunters.
I'm sure there was like at least one other before then.
No, Egwene and Nynaeve were the reboot.
Right. Ooh,
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Like the Starsky and Hutch reboot.
Sure.
That's what they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I think Elaide was there also.
Who's Owen Wilson? Wasn't it Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller
It
or
was,
something?
yeah.
Okay, anyways. Okay. So, more importantly, she has some thoughts about like, oh, and with this whole Shanshan attack thing, when is that going to happen? When are they going to come north? And also, they have to cut through Andor to get to Tar Valon. So, like, what kind of destruction is that going to cause with that? So, and I don't know if you want to make any predictions about what's happening because getting through Andor.
Well, I think that they're just going to know how to travel.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't think we have to wait for them to cross country.
We don't have to like go through Andor in a lane.
I don't think so.
It's just going to be like,
probably.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Realistically,
I don't know. What do you say? Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
No forsaken courtesy. Ding dong. None of that. Not even. They're gonna do
the
what
Shanshan
the rebels...
wait to no one.
Yeah. They're gonna do what the rebels should have done originally.
Right.
Which was just
go in and
zap on in.
Yeah.
Take over.
I love it. Okay,
yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I think she's done her soup. It's the same soup, only worse.
Oh yeah, and the ends of the bread.
No, not the ends of the bread. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
But it's like I like the end.
Yeah.
I know you don't like the end.
I do not like it.
I don't know. You never eat the end.
Well, not in a store
Not if you
loaf.
have like a choice.
But like a homemade loaf, like it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just crustier, you know?
I love the crusty bits of the bread. It's
Okay,
great.
all right.
It's great with soup. That's the best part with the soup.
That's the best part.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Okay.
All right. Now, Egwene makes her way finally up to Sylviana's study and tells her about the evening, but sort of leaves out the part about where she dropped the soup on purpose.
Not that she didn't drop the soup, just that it was on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now she does include the part where Elaida talked about changing the 3 oaths, and Sylviana looks thoughtful at that.
Yeah, which is the worst descriptor word for us in this context. Like, thoughtful.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yeah, and Sylviana's like, okay, well, the Amyrlin has spoken, and Egwene says, yes, I have.
Love it.
And
so
turns
sassy.
around, and the beating starts, and Egwene doesn't even cry out, but she thinks about the ridiculousness of this punishment, and how crazy Elaida's become, and poor Maidani, and everything else that's going on, and that just like being literally spanked is so stupid right now.
Like every other hour.
Yeah.
Forever.
And she starts to laugh.
Yeah.
Because she realizes that the Aiel way is not just like not feeling the pain.
Right.
But it's embracing it and realizing that it's stupid.
Understanding the nature of pain. You got to understand the Aiel philosophy that it's like life is but a dream.
Yeah.
So, and we're all going to wake one day. So in the context of like, it doesn't really matter.
No.
For a lot of
and the context of like, oh, you're going to hit me because I did that. Like, it's just a dumb punishment. Like, it's not...
especially for Egwene in this situation. Yeah. So.
And then the beating stops, and Egwene looks around, and Sylviana's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
In the head?
In the brain. Because...
Have I finally broken your brain?
Yes.
Is your brain broken?
Nope.
How are your thoughts?
Yeah.
And Egwene's like, my thoughts are fine. I haven't been broken. I'm laughing because this is ridiculous.
Yes, I'm watching the tower crumble in front of like us, and like you're beating me nonstop.
And it's stupid.
Yes.
And Sylviana's like, yeah, but I can't refuse to punish you. You know that.
Which is stupid because you're supposed to be in charge of the novices.
Yeah.
And if there's a crazy order, don't do the order.
Yeah.
There should be some level of that in the Aes Sedai hierarchy of positions.
No.
Like maybe in the hierarchy of just like regular stuff, but like she has a literal position.
We gotta obey, Brett.
Okay.
Have you learned nothing from this whole episode?
I've learned nothing.
You better obey.
Okay.
That's the only thing that matters. Now, Egwene is just reminded about Shermayan.
She asked Sylviana, like, hey, tell me that story about Shamarin. And Shamarin was the one who Elaida demoted from Aes Sedai, like, back to accepted or whatever. And she's like, tell me again how that happened. And Sylviana had told her previous, like, that Shamarin got demoted and it worked because she accepted the fact that it worked. Not because it was, like,
in any Aes Sedai laws that an Aes Sedai can be demoted.
It's like she started acting like an accepted again. So it's like, that's just what if that's the position you're going to act.
Yeah.
Then that's what you are.
Accepted it and it worked. And Egwene's like, well, I won't be making that mistake. And Elaida can say whatever she wants, but I'm the Amyrlin seat.
Yeah. And like when you're beating me, you're beating the Amyrlin seat. So.
Just so you know.
Absurd.
Just so you know.
Yeah. So how do you feel about Sylviana? She's kind of gone through a bit.
I think she's coming around.
To what though?
To Egwene as the Amyrlin seat.
Or like that's pretty far. I was hoping for like maybe she'll be like, no, not beating anymore.
No, I think she'll continue beating. I don't think that's going anywhere. I think that's her favorite thing to do.
Oh, interesting.
It's like the best punishment forever. Yeah, I don't know.
Super.
However, I think that she's coming around to Egwene's way of thinking.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should get rid of Elaida.
And I think that Sylviana will keep up pretenses.
Sure.
For now. Until it's time.
Okay.
And Sylviana might be part of bringing Elaida down.
Okay.
Maybe,
okay. I kind of get
that.
like she's part of Go Time, and whenever Go Time is, or whatever that is,
Is
then
she in the hall? I don't think so.
No,
right?
She's just Mistress of Novices.
Mistress of Novices. But she still should have a say about things that happen.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, and especially because if she asks even one novice right now how she feels about Egwene, then she'll find out exactly what's happening with actually all the novices.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Okay, well, we're here. We got the Egwene perspective.
Yeah, we did it.
Things are happening.
Cool.
And maybe does meeting number 2 happen? Is that gonna, or are we just...
I originally said no.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
You're okay with it? If it happens?
It does, I really need Egwene to keep playing her part and not lose her cool.
Oh, okay.
She needs to do much better with that if she's going to pretend to be this Aes Sedai.
No more soup spills.
No, and you gotta hold it together.
Right.
If you can be just like beaten mercilessly and laugh during it, you can hold your fucking thoughts together for 3 seconds. Especially when the thing that makes her so angry in the first place is literally something she has done and can probably understand. But no, anything that Elaida says is wrong.
Can't deal with it.
Can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, what's the move here? That's what I really want to know.
Like, what happens next?
What happens next? How do we get all of these, like, whispers of everyone not really liking Elaida and whatever? Like, how is there a meeting?
Yeah.
How is there a, like, okay, we're pulling her down type of consensus? How does that happen?
Yeah.
What's next?
Yep.
That's what I want to see.
It's a good question.
Because I'm ready. I'm ready for this not to drag on, like, too much.
Okay.
And also, what are those rebels doing?
Right.
What are they going to do now?
What
are they going to do next?
They're doing their best.
Because they're going to have to come integrate into the tower. That's the idea.
I like that. Yeah.
The whole United Tower.
Yep.
Even though they're all going to be super useless.
It's going to be super good. Love it.
Like, they're all going to be so useless at the last battle. They're not actually going to matter, you know?
What? I said I don't matter?
Especially how infiltrated they are by the Black Aja.
That too.
Like, we only know a fraction of the Black Ajas that have actually infiltrated, and it seems like there's lots.
I mean, Masana was like, we're good. We're good. I'm doing a good job.
Well, Masana's gonna say that.
Yeah, she is. Like, she's in a bad position, but anyways. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Cool.
Whoever she is in the tower.
Whomever.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's never actually right.
It's never the right one.
Now, one chapter next?
One chapter.
Chapter 3?
Yep.
But we're recording fast. In like 2 days from now.
Yeah, but only because it's over holidays and we're trying to do holidays.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Well, before you go ahead and spill soup because you get super angry, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern.
Super angry?
Oh.
It's part of the pattern.
So bad. Well, that's the end of another fun episode. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Dani and Brett and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Adam, Mozyme, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Colby T, and Gabby Young with music by Audionautics. Be sure to check out our Patreon page if you're interested in supporting us on the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join the Discord, or how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us a 5-star review because it really does make a really huge difference in helping other people find us. And tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks so much for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.